All right, everybody, live from the M Club in the beautiful Marriott Marquis. By the way, I've been saying it right this whole time. Both are correct. It is a Marriott Marquis at the Marina, so I am not wrong. I'm great. I'm also Tom. This is Tim. This is Ron. We have a very special guest joining us for the show tonight. We've got Kenny from Satislow. Kenny, what is your position at Satislow?
So I'm a precision sales engineer at
Okay.
Satislow.
Precision sales engineer, sounds technical, and that actually leads me into exactly what I want to talk about. It is the third night of this wonderful SPIE Optics and Photonics Conference. Everybody who watches this show, and we have our dedicated viewers that we really appreciate. Thank you to everyone who's come up and said hello so far. The boys, we all appreciate it. We cheers to you.
Cheers.
There's our first cheers of the night.
Cheers. It's the juice.
Ron said juice there for those of you that are a little hard of hearing, in case you heard something different. Now, guys, I'm new to the optics industry. You know, everyone knows I was a very famous movie star prior to coming to OptiPro. But now that I'm
kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal, but you know what? Not in this industry, because we got some big fish at this table right now, and I feel like a little guppy. And what I want to know is, how does a guy like me learn more about the optics industry? And Kenny, I was interested. I'm going to go to you first. You actually have a list that you've compiled.
I do. So I put together my top 5 books for learning optics fabrication specifically, not just optics and how that works, because that's a whole nother world. To be honest, let's all agree.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the true dark arts.
Yeah.
But we do
It's
those.
the black magic.
It really is the black magic. I mean, what those optical designers can do, I can't wrap my head around. I've been in the industry for almost 10 years. But specifically, I've got some really good books. And so the first book that I want to bring up is called Practical Knowledge in Precision Optics. My friend Rupert Hector was the one that actually translated this from German. It was the book that really helped me understand what interferometry was. It goes into a deep dive on different types of optical manufacturing. It contains a lot of formulas too in regards to calculations that you need if you're actually in the fabrication market. It's a top-notch book. It's hard to find. So there's actually a website. It's a German website where you would buy this book. You can't buy it on Amazon. It's a little bit hard to find it, but it's called Practical Knowledge in Precision Optics. That's my number one. If you only have one book,
It's ironic that your number one book is German.
I know. I was thinking that.
You were thinking the same thing?
I was thinking,
No.
Why is that interesting? Tell me.
Where's your parent company?
That's right. Guten Tag.
Out of Germany. Hey, you know what? Nothing wrong with a little loyalty around
There
here.
you go.
That's right. Blood in, blood out. We're all getting matching tattoos after.
We are.
So that's your first book, but you know, you have a whole list compiled. And do you have a database that you're able to share that? Do you have a blog or anything where people can find this list?
I thought about starting a blog.
All right.
I really should.
Well, you know what, guys? Find Kenny at the show. If you're here in person or if you got his contact, hit him up. Get a hold of this list if you're learning. Now, that's the main book you said. I want to get back to some of the other books, but first I want to talk to you, Ron. Tim, feel free to chime in. You guys have both been in the industry, and you're dipping my toes into this optics pool, which I appreciate. But Ron, what would be your first steps to introducing someone to what's the baby steps? What's the the introductory to optics course that you would recommend?
So it is, I'll say customer specific, but what I would recommend is hands-on. You want to do it the old school way. Mike, sorry, got to talk about conventional. Okay. Do it the old school way, get your hands on it, learn how to do it, and then graduate to the high performance machines that we operate. And guess what? Guess what OptiPro offers?
What's that?
OptiPro U.
That's right. Shout out Danielle Bechtold, OptiPro U.
You got it. So you come to OptiPro, you spend some time on the machine, you spend some time in the classroom, you work with the technicians in the lab. Before you know it, at the end of the week, you're making a sphere, you're making an A-sphere, you're measuring it, boof, you're getting hands-on.
So there's nothing, hands-on training is also excellent. Tim, do you think there's a way to blend both the academia with the physical hands-on approach? Isn't there perhaps a way to combine both of these arts into one utopian optics education system?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be just general experience. It's going to be working in really just getting your hands wet. Really.
Now, is there any way we can make this a graphic novel? Because for me, the books are often too dense. Or can we get it read by Morgan Freeman?
By the way, that's the word of the day, dense.
Dense?
Yeah, it is.
It's the word of the day.
The word
You
of
know,
the day.
that was at the show, just to let you
Yep.
know. Go ahead. I'm sorry to slow you
No, I
down.
was just saying if we could get Morgan Freeman to narrate that book, I feel like
The interesting
everybody
thing
wants
is-
to
There's no
know.
audio. There's literally 0 audiobooks
Yeah.
in the precision
Well,
optics industry.
all right, if those of you
market.
out there in publishing, looks like we've got a chance to make an audio book.
So what's
read by
interesting
Morgan
is
Freeman.
Patty, Ron, and myself all have completely different backgrounds. We have
Yeah.
completely different paths to all get to the same end goal.
Well, I was gonna say, what's fascinating is you guys all speak the same language, though. It's like you have all these different approaches to learning about the industry, and yet you can communicate.
We're on the same wavelength.
We are on.
Cheers to
We
that.
are, yeah, cheers to that.
All right.
Just the juice.
It's just
So, I want to kind of refocus here. So we're going to head into our final day of the show. We've had a great time. We've gotten to meet a lot of people. As I said before, Kenny and I are now thinking about vacationing in Wyoming together, doing a little hunting trip. Other people,
Hey, gator hunting in a Poma.
that's right.
Get it?
All right. Perfect. I've met some lovely people from France, all over the world, really coming here to the Optics and Photonics. But is there an opportunity here to kind of educate, like the workshops that are offered here or the lectures? Like, is that something that you think is really important for people to attend, or do you feel like the on-the-floor, in-person communication kind of takes a precedence?
Well,
you just gotta talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a close community.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we got our biggest competitor here in a very social environment.
Yeah.
There's no bad blood. It's just it's organic. It's natural. Everybody's like that in this industry.
Well, good
It's-
competition breeds success, I believe.
It does, but it also just shows. Just talk. Talk to people. Hear people's story. Hear people. What they're doing. I mean, there's a lot of good people in this industry, and just gotta talk.
I love it. Kenny, hit me with another book.
You know, I think another really good book. You talk about a book that's maybe a little bit simpler. Okay, so
Go good.
this
That's
is
for me. That's perfect.
every new hire that I had when I was at LaCroix Precision Optics for the 7 years that I was there, I would give them Optical Fabrication by Roy Williamson. It's a 100-page book, and every one page is a new topic.
Ah.
And it goes everything from conventional manufacturing, interferometry, CNC machining. It goes over everything. It's literally you can read on a plane ride.
Okay. It's like the Dan Brown novel of optics books. Just new chapters.
Solid
We'll
100-page
include-
book.
You know what? This is what I'm going to do to our viewers one time only. I'm going to include links to these books because I care, and because Kenny took the time to actually prepare for this podcast, which God knows me and my compatriots have been winging it all week.
Not a
We
damn
finally
thing.
get someone with some preparation here. We'll link to those books. That's great. Now, Kenny, I've been asking everybody all week, Ron and Tim mostly, since I'm, in a bubble with them. But when it comes to coming to these shows and conferences, do you have any tricks of the trade or words of wisdom that you share in order to make the show as big of a success as possible? Sure. Something that's important to you?
I think the biggest thing is just getting to know everybody, people that are currently important to what you do today. You really, if you're going to stay in the optics industry, you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow, to be honest.
That's
Right. And so it's just making connections. It's being just genuinely authentic in regards to understanding what people do, learning about them, and just being a real person. I love the optics industry in that you guys are great guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Right back at you.
Right. And it's just, it's a great industry that's just very friendly. People care about people. And so that's just it, just being a good person and walking around and just learning, because there's so much that is still above my head, and I'm almost a decade into this industry.
Yeah.
Always room to learn. And what's that? What's the rule, Ron? What's your rule? Learn something, get better every day.
you got it. You got it.
Good.
My
good
gosh,
golly.
good golly. I can cheers to
Good
that.
golly,
right
good
there.
golly.
Now at 9 a.m. though, it's also eat a banana.
It's banana time.
Yes,
By the way,
yes.
we want to thank everybody who has been coming up to us, reminding us to have our 9 a.m. bananas. We also want to thank everybody who's left a comment and liked this little podcast experiment. We're going to try and keep this going. You know, Ron and Tim and I are planning on, if we're allowed back in the OptiPro building after this, getting together and doing one of these a week, and then, ramping up for shows. So we really appreciate everybody who's liked and commented. Please like, comment, and share in this video if you can. It really helps us defeat the evil algorithms of our technological overlords. Kenny, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with us. Thanks for having a whiskey with the boys.
And wait out, we can't let it go yet. Don't forget to check in tomorrow, because tomorrow morning there's a special event going on.
That's right.
That you are going to just bring it on to the public again.
Are we doing a Tommy show?
Can't. They got to check in. That's all I got to say.
Check in.
Yeah.
And we will let you know what's going on tomorrow. It's going to be very important, very special. It may even be the most important thing that's ever happened in the world.
And my good golly, we need a cheers.
My
to
good
that.
golly, cheers to
Bring
that,
that
boys.
juice, baby.
Bring the juice. For Tim and Ron and Kenny, I'm Tom. Have a great night. And our
Cheers.
producer, Kelsey, of course. Thank you.
Press the button.